Today I'm going to finish off the bucket list, see what's left on the list from newslink.com. I've just come across number 40 on the list, which is email one of your heroes. With Twitter and Facebook and social media being so big at the moment, it's easy to contact your heroes if they are a celebrity, or on Twitter or Facebook. And I think nowadays the art of writing a letter to one of your heroes rather than 140 characters is lost. And I was trying to contact somebody the other day, a celebrity, and I didn't want to just put something in 140 characters. I wanted to write a letter to them. I wanted to try and... Don't tell Andrew. But I wanted to try and contact Nick Cave. I'm trying to do it quietly because he's in the room next door and he might hear me. But we're going to Brighton next weekend, and that's where Nick Cave resides. And Andrew's a massive fan of him. So I wanted to try and contact him and say, if you're in Brighton, any chance of a bumping into you moment for Andrew? I asked him the other day what he prefers, actually Nick Cave or Nick Cave's music, and I think you can tell a true fan of somebody when they can't make up their mind if they prefer the artist or the actual art. So I was trying to contact him, and I didn't think that it was appropriate to write it in 140 characters or put it on Facebook, especially when, even emailing them or sending him a letter would go through publicists or his media people or somebody, and he probably would never have seen the letter anyway. And so then number 41 on the list is meet up with one of your heroes. So that would have linked quite nicely if I could have, well, I still can. If you want to tweet this to Nick Cave, feel free. Number 44 is read 1,000 books. Probably since about Christmas, I have not read anything, and I used to be somebody that would read a lot. I just watched a couple of vlogs by Numpty Paris, who was doing a vlog. She's done a couple of vlogs about the books that she's been reading, and I downloaded a couple of those books. And I've just read a book by Morgan Matson called Since You've Been Gone. It's more of a teenager's book, but it was just something that I needed to get back into reading again. It took me a couple of days to read it. It was a lovely book about a girl whose best friend goes missing, and there's this list that she feels as though she needs to complete it to find her best friend again. But for a 30-year-old reading a teenager's book, I found myself feeling a little bit embarrassed reading it, but it was a really good read. It wasn't too in-depth. I didn't have to concentrate on it. Like, I could sit next to Andrew whilst he was playing Destiny with guns a-blazing and still be able to concentrate on it. 47 is to perform on a stage. Now, I used to love this when I was at school. I was in all of the school plays. I jump at the chance to get on a stage. I went to see Priscilla in the West End a few years ago with Jason Donovan, and they asked for women who wanted to come and volunteer to be on the stage. I shot my hand up. I was ready to get up there, and we ended up doing stuff like a hoedown on stage with these really hunky dancers. They were fit. And then a couple of years ago I went to see a burlesque show with two of my friends, and I ended up getting on stage to learn how to nipple dance. Like nipple tassel dancing things. She says with her hands, just in case you didn't know what I was talking about. Number 48 is to try a new sport. I think I'm going to change that slightly. I'm going to change mine to try watching a new sport. I'm not a sports person. I don't like doing sports, playing by the rules or anything like that. But I did find that during the Olympics the other year that I found myself watching more sport and enjoying more sport. Drew has introduced me to the world of cricket, and I'm quite enjoying that. Although I'm more interested in the commentary rather than the actual game. I listen to the commentary on the radio or when he's got it on the TV. It's funny. I like cricket commentary. Run a marathon. Yeah, I'd like to do that, but whenever I ran in the past, I just get so bored. Even if I was listening to my music, I would much rather walk 6 miles than run 6 miles. It burns off the same calories, but it doesn't hurt so much, doesn't make me out of breath. So I will walk a marathon and even skip it. Anything but run it. Learn to dance is number 51. I love dance lessons. I've had many of them over the past. My favourite is line dancing. I used to teach that a little bit. Not on my bucket list, but I would like it to be on Andrew's bucket list because I would just love to be able to dance with him properly. I remember the first time I was dancing with him, it was so awkward. He just stood there like a plank. We were somewhere with Dad and Sandra and I'd got the most enormous heels on, and I've never had a problem with heels before, but I got up to the dance floor and I just fell over straight onto my back, whacking my head on the floor. I don't know how I managed to do it, but so then dancing was really awkward because Andrew was just a plank and I was in pain. But he gets better. He's loosened up a lot. The biggest one here on this list that I would like to be on my bucket list is to fly through the air somehow, whether it be parachuting or paragliding. However, I do have a slight fear of that. Like, I don't have a fear of heights or anything. I went up in a hot air balloon one year with Mum, Dad and Rob, and I'd never been scared of heights before, but all I wanted to do was to jump out. I couldn't stand being in it. I hated it. I couldn't look out over any of the scenery. And whenever I see footage from this trip, I see photos from it. Ugh, I'm getting foot cramp. I just pushed myself up. Yeah, whenever I see footage from it, I get panic attacks again. And then I think the final one that's going to be on my bucket list is to learn how to drive. Because last year when I was at uni, it's a 45-minute drive, but I had to get the bus last year. So to get there for a 9 o'clock lecture, the bus would get in at 8 o'clock, and it was a 2-hour bus journey, and it takes me 15 minutes to walk to the bus. So it was taking me 3 hours and 15 minutes to get to uni, and then I had to do the reverse trip as well. So I was doing like 6.5 hours travelling every time I had a lesson. And on a Monday I'd have a 45-minute lesson, so it really was not worth it. So I really need to drive this year for uni. So hopefully on Tuesday, which is just 3 days away, I'm going to pass my driving test. I have a test on Tuesday at 2:32. So hopefully I'll be driving soon and I can cross that off my bucket list. So thanks for watching the final bucket list episode, and I will see you next time. Bye!